welcome. This is going to be brief. I said that I would post up something for upcoming range day, and these are my thoughts on Zero and my thoughts alone. That's not important right now. So, Rifle Zero. A lot of times, and it makes me want to punch a kitten, someone go, oh, it's close enough for their Rifle Zero. When you're an inch or two off to the left and down at 25 yards. A scope in general, our optics are either half MOA for most red dots or quarter MOA for some of the 1 to 4 optics or 6, whatever. So going off the 1/4 inch at 100 yards, what does that mean? An MOA is a way of measuring a circle. It's a degree, okay? 1 MOA is 1 inch at 100 yards. It's generally speaking, it's actually just like 1.047 or something like that, but doesn't matter. All right, we're not trying to hit beer cans at a mile. We're trying to hit minute of an 18-inch target. Okay, and I'll get to that. So if your rifle at 25 yards with a 1/4 MOA scope is 1 inch low and left, at 100 yards that translates to 4 inches. So your Kentucky hold up and to the right a little bit, that would be right. You're right, not my right. Whatever. Your Kentucky windage hold of, oh, I'll just point it up here a little bit. At 200 yards, that becomes 8 inches. Okay. 1 MOA is 1 inch at 100 yards. It's 2 inches at 200 yards. It's 3 inches at so on and so forth. At 400 yards, each click on your scope goes from 1/4 to 1 inch. So if you're adjusting 20 inches at 400 yards on a 1/4 MOA scope, you're only clicking it 20 times. If you're doing 20 inches at 100 yards, you do the math. There's a lot more clicks to that, okay? It's late. Fuck you, I'm not doing math. So, close enough is when you are drilling the center of the target and your crosshair or your dot is on the center of the target. There is no it's close enough besides that. If you're okay with close enough, well, then don't plan on reaching out past 25 yards because nothing will be close enough and there's no point in owning a rifle. You might as well have a handgun. So that is what a Zero is. Now, whatever you designate as your battle rifle, that's what you're going to bring to the next range day, okay? Whether it be an AR or an AK or whatever the hell it is, I don't care. If it's something other than an AR, let me know because I have targets I can print out for zeroing an AK, naturally. And if you have something crazy, let me know. But whatever you are going to pick up, if the zombie apocalypse kicks off in 20 minutes, the first rifle that you're going to grab, bring that. Bring the ammo you're going to use in it also. I know most of the time at the range, we use the cheap, shitty ammo, be it the Wolf steel case. I have the special load for mine that's real cheap and easy to load, and it's substandard components, but I'm not trying to be a precision shooter 50 yards to 0 yards where we're usually working with drills and stuff. I am bringing my 75 grain load for the 5.56, be it my AK or my AR. That'll be a surprise for you. But either way, bring 200 rounds of whatever ammo you are going to use to bust zombies in the forehead. Okay? If that's the cheap Wolf ammo, great, bring it. If you're going to use the expensive, 75 grain Barnes solid copper or hollow point copper or whatever, bring 200 rounds of it. All right? Bring 200 rounds of green tip if that's what you're using. I don't care. Bring 200 rounds. We're probably not going to shoot all 200, but might as well have it there just in case we do. Because we have the 100-yard range, and after we get our zeros set at whatever range you choose, we're going to the 100-yard, and we're going to start stretching our legs a little more than we usually do. Because next month when we're on the 500, if I'm right, I'm pretty sure we are on the 500 next month, I have a new special drill for you that hopefully I will have the patches made in time for. But it deals with some of the Revolutionary Wars and their qualifications, one group in particular. So more on that later. I found it kind of interesting, and I'm going to start including it in part of our drills. And it is going to be a separate Iowa-only qualification for our group because I found it entertaining. So the basic zeros, you have 25, 50, and 100 yard. The new one, 36, that I've been playing with, the video that I posted up a couple weeks ago talks about all of those. In my opinion, if you're going to be dialing, if you're working with some kind of a recon gun, if you're working with some kind of a DMR, if you're doing precision work with this gun at all right, that's when you use the 100-yard zero. 0 to 100, it's really accurate. It's a really small deviation. Past 100, out to 200, I believe, is still relatively small, but then it drops off like a rock, which is why you would have to dial in your adjustments. That comes down to knowing your scope, zero stops, cheat sheets, mil dots, all that stuff. If you want to work on that another day, great, we can do that. 50-yard zero is kind of the general one. That's the one I've been playing with forever. And these are all 5.56. AK has a totally different zero. If anyone else is bringing a 7.62 AK, we'll talk about it. I think I'm the only one that has a 5.45 AK. It'd be the same as a 5.56. So if you are bringing a 7.62, let me know. 308 is also a little different. Will, let me know. 25-yard zero is kind of the AK zero for the AR, in my opinion, because it has a really wide spread, but you can cover a lot of ground with it. A lot of what people don't realize with the AK is it's meant to be put on the guy's belt and you pull the trigger. So from 100 to 300 or 100 to 200 and about 25 yards, you're going to hit somewhere in between the forehead and the belt line because it has a really wide arc. The 25-yard zero takes advantage of the wide arc of the 5.56 going all the way out, because once you get past out to about 300 yards, at the 200, 250 to 300 yards, it starts to drop off a lot harder. So that's why it has a lot bigger deviation in between its shots. But again, that was talked about better in the video. I'm not going to get into the math of that. Now, the 36-yard, I have played with that for a couple weeks since seeing that video originally before I posted it up. And I have been pretty much put the dot on my target that's out back at 350 and pull the trigger. I'm putting the dot on the forehead. I'm pretty sure it's hitting lower on the target, but it's still hitting your standard. It's the Army upper body steel silhouette is what I have out there. So, and that 18 inches I was talking about, generally speaking, this is 18 inches. So if you can put all of your shots within about a 1-inch square at 25 yards, that's pretty much considered minute of man. So as you get out, that'll spread, but hits count, kind of a philosophy on that. That's not, once again, we're not trying to hit beer cans at long ways away. We're trying to hit 18-inch target, okay? Well, actually, we're trying to hit a smaller target. So let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, that's all I've got for this. Key points, all right? Whatever is going to be your go-to rifle, if the shit hits the shit, grab that, bring that to range day. That's what we're going to work on this with. If you want to zero all of your shit for that, fine. We're not going to make 36 yards a standard zero throughout the entire group. That's stupid. Because like I said, there's a different purpose for every rifle. I have rifles that have even the 1 to 4, 1 to 6 scopes on them that I'm going to dial for my windage and elevation because it's a precision-ish gun, okay? I have red dots that I'm just going to put the dot on the forehead, pull the trigger. So think about what you're going to primarily be doing with this, what kind of terrain you're going to have to do this in also. So if you're in an area like me and you're out in the great wide open spaces, that 25-yard zero might be a good idea. If you're in the city, the 50 to 36-yard zero, one of those would probably work out pretty good because of the ranges that you have within the city. Keep in mind, though, I had clear fields of view to 450 yards in one direction. The house I used to live at smack in the middle of the city. So you're not really limited by range there, but you do kind of want to be precise. If you're grabbing this for, say, an active shooter, you don't want to have a 16-inch spread on your trajectory if you're trying to stop some crazy bastard shooting up your neighborhood. Okay. Again, think about the reality of it. What are you going to have to use this for if bad things happen? The 100-yard zero, like I said, pretty much straight out to 100. Pretty small grouping. After that, it's best to dial it, but that's going to be used for more precision stuff. So think about the zeros, review that video again, think about how and where and when you'd be using this. 200 rounds of whatever your go-to zombie killing ammo is. I don't care if it costs you $25 a box, bring 200 rounds. If you're going to zero a weapon and learn your ballistic drop on your own, because as they said in that video, it's not a perfect world. It's not going to be exactly 3 inches of drop here and 4 inches of drop here. Figure out how you shoot it, what your spread is on it, how your weapon likes that ammo, because all weapons like different ammo. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Plan on, if I hear you say, oh, it's close enough, plan on me hitting you in the back of the head with something. All right. Otherwise, that's it. See you in a couple weeks.